Hey, Em. Hey, Em. How's it going, girl? Just getting my equipment all set up. All right. Sorry about the delay. Sometimes I move too fast here when I'm producing these videos. I'm like, my brain is somewhere and my hands are other places, and I just sometimes they don't sync up. So thank you very much for bearing with me. So good morning or evening, whatever the case may be for you, Emily. I got my tea here. Oh yeah, check that out. This is some ginger tea, ginger spice. Hmm. Oh, I just can't get enough of that ginger spice sometimes. Celestial Seasonings is the brand. Oh my gosh. Particularly during the wintertime, I'm really enjoying the ginger tea. You might ask, why ginger tea? Let me tell you, there's just something about it that brings to mind this idea of Christmas and celebration and wintertime and coziness. And I love ginger tea. And in fact, I had some ginger tea a while back. This is my second box of ginger tea. They were both the boxes were slightly different. One was like a ginger spice, and the other one was like a who knows another kind of ginger tea. And I don't know. I just love it, especially when winter comes around. So I'm enjoying some of that now. It's not winter; it's autumn, and it's so warm outside that it feels like summer. But who cares? Who's gonna put any labels on it? It's dark. It's near winter time. It's almost October. So boom, there we go. That's winter. And I'm enjoying ginger tea, so I don't know. It's so good that I don't even care what season it is. I really don't care whether it's winter or fall. So that kind of defeats my entire argument. Have you ever started an argument and then by the end made a statement that defeated the original argument? I do that all the time. That's part of the reason why I try to maintain an open mind and be flexible in my thinking, because let me tell you, all it takes is a half step in recognizing one or another different value than you originated from, and you can attack or defend pretty much any idea. I know. Let's hear it for the human brain. Our brains are just that good, right? Oh yeah. And let's hear about it. Let's hear about life. So many gray areas. Keeps us guessing. Keeps us wondering. Keeps us in awe. Our entire lives. Yeah. Good luck if you're able to figure anything out. So there's a golden nugget of wisdom, Emily, for you. You know, my dad, I can imagine you're saying, my dad never told me anything significant. Here it is. Good luck figuring out anything about your life and being super certain about it. Good luck, girl. Yeah, I know. It happens to me all the time. I started thinking, oh, this isn't good. And then 5 minutes later, I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm so glad it is the way it is. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh man, this is the worst thing ever. And then 5 minutes after that, it's like, thank God I'm going to be celebrating every day about this fact. Yeah. Welcome to my world, Emily. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that kind of openness and perspective and flexibility, I really only comes with intelligence. So, I don't, it comes with self-reflection. Yeah. And I really feel for all like the leaders out there who are the leaders of teams and businesses and governments. They're trying to make these proclamations with certainty about certain things. Oh yeah, go for it. Go for it. That's what I say. They're smart enough to be a leader of, say, a country or a group or who knows what. You know, it's got to be tough to sleep at night though. Sometimes, like, oh, no, I forgot that perspective. Yeah. Anyway, one of the pleasures of being human, I constantly have a hard time deciding whether death is a good thing or not. Let's hear it for the human mind. Anyway, I could enjoy my ginger tea in the meantime while I'm contemplating all these deep ideas, these deep philosophical ideas. Ah, love that stuff. You know what ginger tea often needs? It needs some kind of sweetener. It needs something to offset the gingerliness of the tea. Anyway, Em, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Beautiful week. I hope you're having a fantastic week. It has been a beautiful week, even though it's only Tuesday. So far, it's been pretty nice. So I have another question for you, Emily, if you're willing to accept the challenge of answering it, which I, of course, always am up to that challenge. I'm always up for trying to answer a question. So here it is. The question is, if you could rule the world for one day, what would you do? Oh man, this question is so malformed, but it is the standard routine question. So I'll do the best I can with what I have. So the question again is, if you could rule the world for one day, what would you do? Okay. And now here I'm making a few assumptions. I'm ruling the entire world, and that my proclamations um, will be sustained over time, right? For a very, very long time. And society will have to accept and adopt my rules. Okay, if I could rule the world for one day, what would I do? What would I do? Now that is an interesting question. Well, I'll tell you what I would do. Now, I want to caveat this question. I want to qualify my answer. Actually, I want to qualify the answer to my question right here. Is that I haven't really given this question a lot of thought. So if I ended up contradicting myself 5, 10 minutes later, you'll know why. Because I didn't think it through. But on the face of it, I could answer this questions in a few ways. All right, here we go. What would I do if I could rule the world for one day? Okay. Well, the first thing I would do. Oh, here it comes. So here, the first thing I would do is I would rule that everyone enroll in a continuous education program so that they can learn more. I think one of the big problems in the world is ignorance. You know, people are just ignorant. They just are. I'm talking about all people, even myself. I'm completely ignorant, and I need a lot of training. Everyone needs to learn more. I want people to learn about different perspectives. I want them to learn different skills about how they can make their life better. I think I'm a real advocate for learning. I'm an advocate for education, an advocate for libraries, an advocate for books, an advocate for study, And I'm an advocate for inquiry and question asking and knowledge gathering. Yeah. So I think that would go a long way. If people just decided that they were interested in stuff, that they were curious, they wanted to learn new things. All right. So that's the first thing I would do. I'd enroll everyone in school. They need to learn more. Okay. Another thing. Oh, here goes Miguel. Miguel and his proclamations to the world. I know. Here it goes. So this is a question tailored for me anyway. Here we go. So you may know that I am an advocate for peace. That's true. I'm a strong advocate for peace. Two of my heroes are Albert Einstein and Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, they are two of my heroes, my personal heroes, mainly because of the stance they have relating to peace. I think of Albert Einstein as a person who advocated peace, even after even after I understand the unfolding of his work sort of made the atomic bomb possible. And despite that, Einstein was good enough to promote peace throughout the world through a lot of initiatives, through some letter writing and other things. So I think of Albert Einstein, as a peace advocate. Of course, I also think of Martin Luther King Jr. as a peace advocate as well. So those two people being two of my personal heroes, in line with that thinking, I would rule as ruler of the world for a day that weapons meant to cause violence to other human beings be gone. Somehow, I don't know how, but I know, it's craziness. It's craziness. And how do you know how much do you want to bet that in 5 minutes I'll decide the opposite is true, that I want something else. But hey, I haven't completely thought through these ideas, and so hey, I'm qualifying the answer, saying, you know what? That's what I would do if I had my druthers. Sorry. We're going to be a weapon-free world. A weapon-free world. I know. I'm just going to make it harder for everyone to commit violence. They sure can commit violence. Oh, absolutely. They can pick up a rock. They could, who knows what they're going to do? They can throw sand. Violence will still be committed, even if all the, weapons are removed. I'm just going to make it harder for people. People are going to have to make some effort. It's not going to be like laser beams where they press a button and 1,000 people die. It's like they're going to have to put some intention behind it. Like they're going to have to really think. Yeah, like, oh, wait. If I'm going to commit this violence, then I'm going to have to hew a stone. I'm going to have to make an effort. I'm going to make it harder. So from a peace advocate standpoint, that's what I'm going to do. Boom. So that's the second thing. First is education. Second, a world without weapons. I know. It's craziness. The things that make violence easy. Okay, then what else? What else would I do if I ruled the world for one day? What would I do? One day. Just one day? See, this question is flawed. Okay, what else would I do? Those two rules, I think, would go a long way toward helping out the world. Just those two rules. education and nonviolence, education and peace. Yeah. I mean, what else would the world really need? You got me. If I could rule the world for one day, what would I do? Ruling the world. I'm not sure I'd do anything more than just that. Everything else is going pretty good. You know, education and peace. Wow, that's pretty good. What else? If I could rule the world for one day, what would I do? Oh man, rule the world for one day, what would I do? I guess those are all the things that I would do. All right. So I'm curious, Emily. What if you could rule the world for one day? What would you do? Well, let me guess about what you think. What I think that well, what I would guess that you would think the answer is to that question. Well, first of all, I would say I don't know. If I have a feeling, Emily, that you would probably say that you have no idea what you would do. I get it. I totally get it. A young person, not quite clear on what's going on. Um, hey, I get it. If you would, if you could rule the world for one day, what would you do? Well, what I think Emily would say. I would think that Emily would say something like, I would give everyone $1 million. So there would be no poverty. There we go. I have a feeling that's what you might say. That's a great idea, by the way. Anyway, that's it for that. All right. So what? Let's go with the next question. If you could change your occupation, what would you do? Oh, that's a good one. So let me tell you what I would probably do. And if I lived in the real world, right? If I could change my occupation, I'm pretty sure I would probably be like a psychotherapist. It's true. Or a professional student. One or the other. Ideally, I would be a professional student. If I didn't have to work, I would be a professional student. That is, if I had like $50 million or something like that, I just enroll at Stanford, enroll at UCLA down in Los Angeles. Actually, that's a good question. Where would I enroll to be a professional student? It wouldn't really matter. So long it was a decent college. It just has to be halfway decent. Because, when it comes to education, it's all about the work that you put in. It has, something to do with your environment and your teachers and the architecture of the buildings. But really, it's about what you choose to put into the effort. So, yeah. So I'd be a professional student, ideally. But if we're talking for realsies, I'd probably just get a PhD in psychology and become a therapist or I don't know, maybe a social worker or something like that. Probably just become a therapist. Now, I would become a therapist with a successful practice who could take a minimum of just a moderate number of clients. So here's the thing. I happen to believe that as it stands now, in terms of market forces, being a therapist is a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea for a profession. Even though at the same time, I long to be a therapist in my heart. Um, and that I would love nothing more than to be a therapist. Like I mentioned, at the same time, I'm believing that being a therapist would be a terrible occupation. completely, completely, and that's why I'm not a therapist, partly. Because look, there's a reality to being a psychotherapist. And I'll tell you what it is, man. There's all kinds of realities. Number one, you got too many clients. They're streaming in from all from all angles. They're coming in. Come on. Like all I need are 1, 2, or 3 clients, and that's it. In an ideal world, let's take a handful of clients, maybe 5. We'll have group therapy sessions. Any more than 5? Forget about it. Certainly no more than 5 a day. If I could take ideally maybe 1, 2, or 3 clients a day, that would be optimal. If I could choose, like on certain days, I just take 1. Certain days, I take 2. Hour-long sessions. But there's more to the story, man. It's not just that there's a lot of clients. No. It's not just that. There's other things too, like, oh man, dealing with the paperwork, right? Paperwork that the insurance companies require, and the billing and the receiving. Oh man, could not do that. Imagine dealing with every client's health insurer. Oh man, that's just not my game. So there's the paperwork, right? I have a feeling that the paperwork gets pretty overwhelming. If you got like 5 clients a day and you got to come up with diagnoses and evaluations and, decisions, documenting all those things, insane. I would guess, I don't know how psychotherapists have breakfast, lunch, or dinner with so much work to be done and so many clients. There's no way that want to be a psychotherapist today. They couldn't pay me enough money to be a psychotherapist today, even though deep down inside, I want to be a psychotherapist. Look, the practical reality of it is just, I would have to be like a millionaire or first before I decided to work as a psychotherapist. Because I don't want the freedom to decide who my clients were. And when I'd refer them to others, I like to pick and choose my clients. I would choose clients that were not that disturbed. The last thing I would want in my life, truly, the very last thing, is to be inundated with like 8 clients a day, each with severe emotional problems. I couldn't think of a worse nightmare than that. So even though I would love to be a therapist, I love it. Even though it's my dream and my passion, I wouldn't actually do it for a lot of practical reasons. Partly to do with the workload, and the paperwork, and oh my gosh. And then the severe clients who are just not getting off the ground. Yeah. I don't think I could do it in real life. Now, that's not to say I don't have a dream. And the dream is real. And if I had $1 million or $10 million, I would go get that PhD in psychology. But in absence of $1 million, bringing to bear on the problem all of reality and all of its contingencies, there's no way I could be a psychotherapist. So here's the question. I'll repeat the question again. If you could change your occupation, what would you do? Okay, so if I could change it in an ideal world, then yeah, I'd be a psychotherapist. Or, if the world was very, very ideal, then I'd be like a personal coach, something like that. I'd be a consultant, maybe a speaker, maybe a YouTube personality, probably a YouTube personality that makes good money, that has like a few million, maybe even tens of millions of followers. Yeah, there we go. Actually, that sounds really great because I'd have the freedom to talk about whatever I wanted to talk about as a YouTube content creator and, you know, make millions of dollars because of it, right? So let me ask the question again. If you could change your occupation, what would you do? So number one would be psychotherapist. I like the idea of being a speaker, like a workshop person who does workshops. That'd be fun. Self-development workshops, self-growth workshops. I could probably do that. If you could change your occupation, what would you do? Well, like I mentioned earlier, I'd be a professional student if I could. I'm all about learning just for the sake of learning. I'm there. You don't have to convince me that that's important. Okay, question. Here's the next question. If you could give one gift to your children, what would it be? Okay, so again, another malformed question. Too many. These questions are great, but they're limited, right? So if you could give one gift to your children, what would it be? Well, excuse me. If I could give one gift, well, the fact is, if I could give one gift, here's the thing. If I could give one gift as I am right now, or give one gift with as a person with unlimited potential or power to change the world, uh, you know, I don't know. If I could give one gift to my child, what would it be? Like it'd be like $100 million. Sure, here, go ahead, take it. I don't know if that's the question. What the question is asking. If you could give one gift to your children, what would it be? Like realistically. Well, I do give gifts to my children. I give gifts to you all the time. What would it be? What single gift? And a practical one. Like I'm not going to be able to give everlasting life or anything like that. Or give $1 million. But let's talk about reality, right? What would I give my child if I could right now? Well, realistic gift. Oh man, I just don't know. What would you like? Speaking of Christmas gifts, I'm curious, Emily, if you would be willing. I would certainly like to receive a Christmas list from you. I know, I know. I have never received a Christmas list from you. Maybe I think I might have done it one time, received a Christmas gift list from you, but like when you were like 6 or 7 or 8 years old. And since then, I don't think I've received any such list, even though I've inquired and asked about every single year for the last 9 years or so. So let me think. If I could give one gift to my children, what would it be? Well, here's the thing. I don't really know what you need or what you want. It would the gift that I gave would be just whatever my druthers were. Fact is, I've really already given you all the gifts that I want to give you. I don't know. But let's play this game legit. I'll try to read underneath the question and try to come up with something reasonable. So if I could give one gift to my children, what would it be? Well, something that I have. Well, hmm, if I could give one gift to my children, what would it be? I don't know. I would just give the gift of my presence. Isn't that free? Yeah, it's totally free. And what good is that? Good question. I don't know. I think, in the spirit of Rogerian psychotherapy, client centered therapy, there's a lot of benefit to just giving them presence. I don't know. And when I say presence, I mean presence. P-R-E-S. No, P-R-E-A-S-A-N-C-E. Not the gift, the other kind. All right. I don't know. That's a really tough question. If there's one gift that I could give to my children, what would it be? Well, I'd give her my attention. I'd give you my attention. I don't know. Doesn't cost any money for that. All right. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Oh, that's a really interesting question. So here are the few places that pop up: Hawaii, San Diego, Costa Rica. So notice how all those places are fairly tropical. Yeah, if I could live anywhere in the world, I'd probably live like in Costa Rica or someplace like that. If I could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Well, I've entertained the idea of moving to San Francisco. I mean, San Diego. I don't think I'd want to live in San Francisco, but I would probably entertain living in San Diego or Florida. Yeah, I like it warm and sunny. Turns out being warm and in the sun is a priority for me. Well, maybe not being in the sun, but being warm certainly is. Okay, if you were able to listen only to one music CD ever again, what would it be and why? That's actually a really hard question because here it is when it comes to music. You can only really listen to a song like a fixed amount of times before your brain automatizes it. And, you know, and then there's nothing to do. So there are a few like amazing CDs that I really like. Like I actually like Van Halen OU812. I don't know what can I say. It's one of my favorite albums. Why? I don't know. I just like Van Halen. Um, if you were able to listen to only one music CD ever again, what would it be and why? I might listen to Van Halen Jump. Is that the title of one of their? I know it's the title of their song, but let's see what else. What other CD that I would listen to again and again and again? The Desert Island? I don't know. It just is just one CD. Hmm. Music CD. I don't know. That's a really tough one because here's the thing. I really like music and I like new music. I know. There's just something about new music that captivates my attention. Old music, don't care. I mean, there's some musical artists that I do care, you know, about, but ah. So yeah, if I was able to listen to only one music CD ever again, what would it be and why? I just don't know. I like Van Halen. Maybe the Scorpions. Who else? I actually also like Maroon 5. What can I say? That might be fun. Andy Grammer. I like Andy Grammer. Um, I'm trying to think of an artist, a music artist that would just keep me afloat for the next 2 months. I don't know. I don't know, man. So I'm starting to get tired. My brain is just deciding to turn off. Okay, here's another question. If you were to write a book about your life, what would it be called? Oh my gosh. So I'll need a catchy title for my book about my life. Basically, it's an autobiography. What would I call myself? I'd say, thanks for the memories. Oh, man. I don't like that. It's not that either. What book? What? Hmm. If I were to write a book about my life, what would it be called? About my life? I don't know. I'd call it like Transformations and Transformations, Calculus Transformations, and Personal Revelations. Hey, personal transformations, personal renovations. I like how that all melts. Okay, so my brain just turned off, Emily. You might be wondering, why is Miguel just sitting there with his eyes closed? He's not doing anything productive, that's for sure. Yeah, my brain is just falling down right now. Maybe here's the thing. I don't actually have to open my eyes, right? So, if you were to write a book about your life, what would it be called? It'd probably be like an inspiring or uplifting book. So it'd be like The Many Joys of Miguel Angelo Trujillo. Hey, you asked me to make something, and I did. How can I go? I'm so tired. My poor brain. All right, so here we go. Man. All right, so what else? What else is amazing about what's going on? Here, I'll ask another question. If you were imprisoned and were allowed only one book to read, what would you choose and why? Well, you know what? Here's realistic. I'd probably choose a book by Ayn Rand or something like that, like Atlas Shrugged or something, because there's just so much material there. It could keep me occupied for a long, long, long time. If I was imprisoned and were allowed only one book to read, what would you choose and why? Well, How to Break Out of Prison. If I could allowed only one book to read, what would you choose and why? I don't know, man. One book. See, this is the problem with me swimming. I don't. I'm not always clear on whether, um, when I first fit into my car, whether um, that place can support my health or not. I don't know. I like the really long spools of saran wrap. Okay, turns out I'm getting really tired right now. This whole idea of me keeping my eyes open is just a fluke. If I could choose only one book to read, I'd probably choose Wikipedia. Is that even a book? I don't know. Probably not. It's an app. One book to read? Just one? I don't know, man. There's so many books that I'd like to read. I wouldn't even be able to scratch the surface. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed now. I'm just too tired. My brain is falling out of my ears. All right. So, I want you to know that I love you very much. You're my only daughter. And I think the world of you, and I'm really optimistic about what the future holds. Yeah, looking forward to eventually meeting you in person. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you're doing great. I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye bye. I love you.